Can you all talk to me about where you were when you read this? Because I know Allison has a fun reaction to kind of finding out what goes on, but where were you? What happened? What were your reactions?
I think the rest of them, you guys were all together in London.
Yeah.
I was in my house here in Los Angeles, and I read it, and I was sitting in my kitchen just reading it, and I turned to that last page, and I just went, what the fuck? I threw my script across the room, and it was just my two dogs who were like, what the fuck? It was crazy. I didn't see it coming. It was the most incredible reaction that I felt reading a script, the most incredible script reaction that I've ever had.
So Deb had just said, you're going to come in and play the vice president, nothing else.
Yeah. Yeah. She said I was going to have to make some decisions that were morally questionable. I might not be a good guy, but I was going to be, and I said, okay, I'm in.
Excellent.
Yeah.
How about for the rest of you, kind of just this finale episode and everything that goes down? Were you were all together at a table read?
Yeah, but the last scene had been redacted, so we were told we would find out at the table read.
Yeah.
But Keri knew.
Gangster.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's part of her EP knowledge, yes. That's awesome.
I'm a slightly slower reader. So my face was like, and I was kind of reading it off everyone else. And
But Ato had like the same reaction as Janney did.
Yeah.
Because they had redacted it, so they told us not to read it until we got to the table read, and don't turn to the last page. So we get to the last page, and then she's like, get the ambassador on the phone, blah, 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 blah. The president is dead. And I picked the script up and I threw it across the room because that was gangster. I was like, Deborah Kahn is a gangster. That was awesome.
I agree. I would love to kind of, just talk a little bit more about the fun of the episode. Keri and Allison, there are several scenes that are so great, but I love the kind of keep your eyes on your own paper, like that whole sequence.
Yeah. The map scene was a lot.
Yeah.
It was like I had to learn. It was sort of like doing this and learning choreography and learning where everything was on that map, and I had to really know exactly where those nuclear bases were, and then have so much information to. But it was. I read it and I thought, I can't wait to do this. I hope I'm going to be able to do this. I really want to do this because it was such an exciting scene. Even though I just coming in with the map, dragging the map and finding the piece of, what do you call it?
Charcoal.
Thank you. In the fireplace.
Yeah.
It was just it was just fantastic.
And then wiping your hands on your dress as you walk
That was
away.
So good.
So good. So strong. Keri, I'd love to kind of talk about the ups and downs for Kate this season. Did you want her to want the job? Did you want her to want the VP job, or how did you feel about kind of?
Yeah, I mean, of course. I think that's what's so fun about what Deborah wrote is there are so few women in positions of power in politics, especially in this country, and I feel like you root for her, and she's amazing, and she's singular, and then you find out more and then you hate her. But that's what's so fun and juicy, and the constant switching and the extremes of it, and so fun. And I also love that Kate's judgment of her pushes her closer to this thing that she never really wanted.
Yeah.
It's all just so fun.
Yeah.
So fun to play.
I haven't hated her yet. I don't know about you guys.
I don't hate her at all.
Ali and Ato, I would love to talk about your dynamic too, because there's really great sparring, but also there was some really sweet kind of vulnerability. Can you talk about that? Just having that.
I'm the sweet, vulnerable one.
Yeah.
Because she's a badass.
I don't know. Early in the season in the hospital, she's very.
Yeah, I think she's pretty shook up. She's got a heart. She's just got a really good cover.
Yeah. I remember shooting that scene in the hospital, and our director, Alex Graves, was like, he shouldn't cry. And as soon as Allie sat down and started talking to me, I'm like, I can't stop. You know, that was I loved shooting that scene, even though I was not well in that scene. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think what's lovely about the relationship, and is similar to all the relationships in the show, which is that it's never one thing. You know, you're always playing two opposing feelings and desires, and you know, I think, you know, Stuart's a lovable guy, but he's also like bugging Idra at work. Like, it's inappropriate, you know?
But we're at work all day long and all night long. At some point, I got to bug you about what we're doing. You know what I mean?
I think the question is, what
something
were you
out.
doing?
It sort of makes sense though, because I mean, outside looking in, right? These are really high pressure jobs. So it makes sense that you would be talking about work all the time more than prioritizing any personal life, and that possibly romantic entanglements at work would be discouraged. But it's still fun to see how it played out. How do you feel about, as fandom calls it, end game, and them sort of ending up, your characters ending up together in the end?
Endgame. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, as Ato, because I'm kind of romantic, so I hope they end up together.
Yeah.
As Stuart, I don't know. She's been like banging him around this season. I'm not sure.
But I think Stuart deserved it. Like, Allie want them to end up together,
crutches.
I told you, Matthew, my guy, Matthew, when he watched it, he was like, I do not like the way they're talking to Ato's character.
Thank you.
Why is he putting up with this? That was his beef. He's like, I do not like the way they're talking.
That's great. I actually wanted to ask Ato too, since we're with a group of actors, how do you specifically play an injury? I don't know if there's like, if hair and makeup helps, or obviously the crutches help, but since you're kind of getting better each episode, I'm just kind of wondering what you do.
Yeah, I kind of don't play the injury because I think that's part of it. It's like he doesn't want anybody to know he's in pain. So like the less I do, the better, because also you don't want me doing a bit at all. No. But I think, that's a great question. The obstacle being the pain that he's trying to avoid and not show everybody that he's in some pain, because it was a pretty traumatic thing that happened to him.
Yeah.
So that's going on the whole time with everything with him, I think.
Nice. I always wonder about that too, because if obviously you have like a bruise, that's makeup, but I don't ever know if you're like reminded when it's touched and that kind of thing.
Well, I bang my head against my trailer door every time.
Very method. Very
method. Love it. David, you get to do what's exciting, because I feel like we do get to learn more about you this season. Do you have kind of a favorite aspect of how we get to dig into your character this season? I feel like he's the smoothest operator. I don't know if that's an accurate assessment.
Wow.
So far, it might, who knows what's going to happen next. Very smooth.
I don't know if I had a favorite this season. I've said this before, but honestly, I felt quite sad for him this season. And recently, I found myself in this really privileged position to be in a room of these beautiful, powerful, strong Black men that had all gone to elite schools. And the guy next to me said, well, I was talking to another guy about the idea of play and discovering that as an actor. And the guy next to me said, now this is a guy who was born in Kumasi, was given a scholarship to go to Eton, and then a scholarship to go to Oxford, worked for a law firm, started his own company. And he said, do you know, I'm just starting to build my relationship with play now. And the whole room breathed a collective breath of like, I get you, because you just can't fail. And so I've spoken before about this kind of internal scream that Dennison has. Like he should be prime minister. Like he should be. He's been brought up this way. He should be with Kate, right? There's this scream, but he can't mess up. And playing that just felt stifled. So I don't know if that was a favorite thing, but it was certainly interesting for me as a person to go, wow, there's something that we go through as people of color. So yeah.
Especially like the work that it takes to get in those rooms and to stay there and all that.
Yeah.
The pressure.
Yeah.
That's super interesting. Can you talk a little bit more, actually, everyone's prep or kind of your favorite aspects of research? Because obviously this is a fictionalized version of international affairs, certain parts of it, right? But I'm just wondering kind of what your favorite parts of learning a little bit more about the world you're portraying were. Or if there are any favorites, or your favorite aid.
Keri,
or
what was that
research.
movie you had me watch? It was the Netflix.
The Human Factor.
The Human Factor. That I watched that documentary, and it basically traced. It was the Israeli Accords back in the 90s that Clinton put together between the Israeli Prime Minister and the PLO, and all of the things that the people behind the scenes that you don't know any of their names, just like all the characters that we play, were doing to make that just the handshake happen. Yes. I found that absolutely fascinating and devastating. Yes. And I couldn't believe how much work these people put in, because we don't see it, because that's their purpose. They're supposed to work behind the scenes to make it so that we don't, bomb each other, stuff like that.
I mean, and Deborah has always said, what we've always said is that this show is meant to be a love letter to the Foreign Service, which is steadily being dismantled in this country. It's just this army of these incredibly bright, usually young people giving everything that could be off making money, at a hedge fund or something, and they're giving their life to serve, to be public servants, and it's fascinating. And so, because of the show, I've had the chance to, meet a lot of people and go to these dinners, and so all of that stuff is under research, and things like that documentary, and
the people are amazing, and the stories that they have, and the insight that I feel like that we're all gleaning every time we go to something, and you get a little personal story, and you're drawing from that, and it's also like not the personalities you think for how serious the job is, and that's really helpful, because you just have to dispel your notion of like what that is to do, and they don't look the way you think they'll look, or and their senses of humor are there's a lot of gallows humor, I think.
Yeah, for survival.
I looked at a lot of just the trajectory of someone like Hillary Clinton, a woman who spent her life in public service, and what that's like. Any woman who leads under intense scrutiny because she is a woman, those kinds of being the woman that Grace is, being judged, being underestimated, and using that to her power. She is to her advantage. Just reading up about all different kinds of women who lead, and how difficult that is. And it was wonderful getting to play someone that was so. It was difficult for me to play someone that was so still and so different than I am. I'm very, gesticular and everything, and I had to learn to just own the power, just own it. And it is really hard. But doing that scene with Keri, the dressing, which is speaking to what I'm talking about, because on the outside, it's like we're talking about image and what she, put on a bra, brush her hair, blah, blah, blah. But really it's about legacy. It's about being able to stay in this world of men usually, and have staying power. And it was she was giving her great advice, although it seemed like she was being mean. She was actually really helping her, because I think she really sees herself in Kate.
Yeah, it definitely feels like that sequence, especially, is like grounded in reality. There's a double standard that we just can't. It's there. No matter how hard we work, and we're still going to work at it. Yeah. Have you received feedback from people in Foreign Service? Has there been any like great reaction so far? Like what are people saying about how it's portrayed, and like what you get right? Not that that's what you're trying to do, but this is an entertaining show.
People have been really nice about it. Yeah. They've been really nice for the most part. I mean, I think it is sort of generally an unseen world. And we're trying to shine a light on it and celebrate it. and yes, fictionalize it and put it in these beautiful places. I mean, I'm sure they don't always wear these beautiful outfits, and it's not always in, you don't always get sent on a mission to Paris with your like work crush. Yeah, I mean, I was at Jane, Ambassador Hartley's, the real ambassador, at a function she had, and President Obama was there. And he and Jane are very close. And he said, he was like, yeah, Jane, I'd like to see you talk to Blinken that way. And we all had a big laugh.
But also, he watches the show. Yeah. That's great now. Yeah.
And Blinken came to visit us. That was cool too.
Yeah. We were shooting in the embassy in London, and he had just finished this epic trip to China at the time, and we had to stop filming so that he and his crew could like come in and whatever he was doing, change clothes and do like a, important meeting. And they're like, oh, Blinken's going to come by. The secretary's going to come by and say hello. We were like, isn't he busy? Like, we can get out of here. And he was so cool and so nice. And yeah.
Well, I love that. Do you all have a favorite sequence or scene that you are not in? That was, I know a few of you were watching the last sequence for the first time, and like I'm wondering if there were any of those surprises, like just watching your fellow actors. Shout out to Rory and Rufus too, who aren't here, but do a great job this season.
Yes.
That Hal is just always stirring up trouble. But I do love that the woman who plays your friend who says like, you don't like him when he's good. I just thought, ooh. Is that true? She likes the kind of push and pull. But yeah, scenes or sequences you loved kind of watching your co-stars or fellow actors in?
God, it's so hard to choose. I feel like one of the real luxuries of this show is like I'm more invested in like other people's scenes and wanting to see how they look at the end, because you read them and you're like, I can't wait for them to do this scene. Yeah. I mean, I know watching these two go at it was like, I mean, I often just came to set to just hang out and and observe. Like that map scene was really fun to watch.
Yeah, I was going to mention the map scene. I know we already did it, but like when I read it on the page, I was like, this is freaking awesome.
I didn't see it till
really?
Just now. I was like, I was like, I don't know why I need to wait a few more years and then I can go, I actually look great. Oh, it's so hard. Oh, Lord. But I loved reading it. I loved doing it with her. And I just haven't, I just saw it tonight, saw the ending of that episode for the first time too. Nice. I'm going to go home and watch it.
You want to use my Netflix password?
I think I speak for everyone in this room when I say you look amazing.
Oh yeah.
Love you.
Yeah.
It's true.
I really invested in these two.
Yeah.
I just love their dynamic, and that scene that you were describing. Yeah, I just and at read-throughs, I find myself reading slowly. Oh yeah.
I love that too. Looking ahead a little bit, I don't know how you all are following. There's a season 3 and 4 coming, which we're very excited about. One special thing for people who've been following Miss Janney's career for a while, you're reuniting with Mr. Bradley Whitford as your husband.
It's pretty awesome. So Deborah called me and asked me, she said, would you be all right if, like, she didn't, thinking maybe what if I hated him? And I was like, no. I was so excited to have Brad come on board because I knew how much everyone here would love him too, that he would fit in with this group of people, this wonderful group of people who are so talented. And so I said this before, where they take their works, they work seriously, but they don't take themselves seriously. And that makes it so much fun to be on set with people. And Bradley he's just the consummate entertainer. He makes everybody laugh, crew, everybody. he's hilarious and he's incredibly smart and he's incredibly great in this role as Grace's husband, because he's sort of like he's sort of the guy who has to hold the purse now and, do that. And he's like, he's feeling a little jealous and it's kind of fun to watch him squirm a bit and be uncomfortable. He's really.
Did you get to make the call, or did you guys connect?
Oh no,
after?
no,
Okay.
I didn't. No.
I just wonder if he was like, "Hey, we're going to work together again." Obviously, you can't talk too much about it, but are there things that you're really looking forward to exploring further, and also getting to have a season 3 and 4 on the horizon? Hopefully, gives you a little bit more runway to kind of get there, as it were.
I just started doing the ADR for 3 because it's finished. We finished filming it already. And I think I did like the first 4 episodes or something. And Deborah's writing is so good. It's so fun. First of all, I mean, it's such a great ending, I think, of 2. But the episode 1, of 3, it's even better. It's so good. It's so good. And I have to say, yes, the reaction of reading that, but the episode 1, that I was like, it's so good. And it's incredible. It's great. It's so fun to have this show that, it's not about yes, we did have an explosion on our show, but it's not just like someone's getting killed or a big explosion. Her explosions are like, there's a human cost to it. And that first episode is so good. And then it just gets better and better. It's such an interesting curve to take, and she really goes for it. And I loved so much of season 3, and who knows what she's doing for season 4. I begged her to tell me and she said no.
Yeah, well, since you are an executive producer, what do you like to do in that role? Is something you get to know ahead of time a little bit?
I mean, I do, I guess a little bit, but sometimes it's good to not know everything, but also because it changes so often. Yeah. So there's a lot of cooks in the kitchen, and you don't want to fall in love with something that doesn't come to pass.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. How about the rest of you? Season 3 tease or hopes and dreams? Although I guess it's wrapped, so hopes and dreams is sort of theoretical. Yeah. Hopes and dreams for us.
The relationships are juicy, and all the different kinds of relationships, they all get more complicated. So that's really fun. And Deb has a way of always exceeding our expectations. It's like, she's incredible, and then you read the next script and you're like, I'm surprised. I think everything gets more nuanced and more complicated.
Yeah. It's the way everything evolves. It's just like Keri's saying, it's like so good. You get something like how this season ended, and you're like, all right, we're done. You know what I mean? I mean, even if we get another season, it'll be all right. What are you gonna do? Yeah. But then you're like, holy shit, right? And it's all of those things you're talking about the depth of you think you're at the bottom already, and it just keeps going, and you're like, this could go forever, and I'm having a great time. Yeah. So I don't even I'm not an executive producer, so I don't know shit, right? So
not yet.
But what's great is I love not knowing. I love getting the next script, and I will read it on my phone as soon as it comes out. Mm-hmm. I hate reading on my phone, but I'm like, oh my God, it's like on the phone reading. This is what happens to Stuart, man. And I'm like, oh, I'm Stuart. Oh shit. You know what I mean? That's good stuff, right? So I'm really lucky.
So that's actually good to know. Everyone gets the scripts at the same time. It's not like they're piecemeal, except for the one redacted season 2.
One redacted, the gangster script. Yeah.
Is it always the same time each week? When they're going to come?
No.
Sometimes there's a little bit of
a little bit of wait.
Read-throughs are so fun.
Yeah.
I actually love going to read-through.
Oh, read-throughs are fun. Oh yeah, microphone if you want to. David, you were gonna. Would you want to do a little season 3 tease for your?
A little season 3 tease.
Yeah. Whatever you're allowed to say. Here we are at Netflix.
So I spoke about that internal scream.
Yeah.
From season 2. He gets to scream a little bit. Just a little bit.
Gets to scream a little bit. Yeah, because he is very, I'm looking forward to his freak out, maybe, I guess, because you're so put together. He's so,
Yeah, maybe one button is under.
but it's gonna pop off.
Yeah.
That one is gonna.
Yes. Some of those clothes are fabulous. Is Netflix keeping them all in a warehouse? Do they not get to keep anything?
They really are. Like, when you think, like, can I just get like even a little sock or something?
Yeah.
They're like, no, David, everything back. Everything.
A little sock seems like there might be multiples, but you never know. Yeah, there is a season 3 and a 4 we have to talk about. We're coming up in our last bit of time. Anyone want to close us out with some wonderful words for the audience or anything else to leave this wonderful group with?
Wow.
It's pressure.
Obviously, we have to watch season 3, episode 1 because we know it's going to be awesome.
Take it away, Janney.
Yeah. Do we have a release date yet? You can do that. A season? When season 3 is coming?
No, I don't think.
Last year we came out on Halloween, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
do
well.
that again? I don't know. We don't know.
I'm gonna guess October.
We'll hope for, yeah.
You heard it from me, October.
Let's hope for a fall release. No one's doing this over there yet, so it seems like we're okay.
Yeah.
Fall-ish.
Yeah.
I wish Deborah were here. She'd do the perfect,
Yeah.
Let's call her right now.
Hopefully she's writing
Yeah.
or on a vacation. Yeah. Well, good. Well, I thank you all so much for coming to speak to everyone and for this wonderful ensemble.